Good morning. Welcome to the forecast discussion for December 11th, 2012. Of course, it is a Tuesday morning, and we are starting to clear out all of the warm air as it is much cooler than what we saw yesterday. Yesterday, we were getting close to 60 degrees. Today, well, we're not going to be moving much from where we are right now in the mid 40s. We could see a few upper 40s, maybe 50 degrees right along the coast for a short period of time around noon, but then temperatures will be falling through the afternoon into the lower to mid 40s over much of the Philadelphia and New York City metropolitan area. And the reason why is because a cold front is driving through the New York City and Philadelphia metropolitan area, with showers this morning that will clear out. And by this afternoon, in fact, by late this morning, we'll have clearing skies and very comfortable weather conditions in place for the northern mid-Atlantic. Now, the cool thing here is that we have temperatures falling into the upper 30s here over portions of northeastern Pennsylvania. So look for lower to mid 40s over northeastern Pennsylvania and mid to upper 40s generally over much of the rest of the region. But what's nice is that we'll be drying out. The roads will be drying out. We'll have clearing skies. So yes, it'll be chillier back towards near normal. But at the very least, we'll have tranquil weather conditions. So if you have to get out and shop or you have driving home from work this evening, you'll be dealing with tranquil weather conditions as we drive home. Now, here we have the radar this morning. You can see just still a few lingering showers, especially over Connecticut and over Long Island and back towards central New Jersey. These showers will clear out by, let's say, about 9:30, 10 o'clock. It's currently 8:30 now. So really, by the time we get to 10 a.m., dry conditions will be in place throughout the entire northern mid-Atlantic. Back here we have a little bit of lake effect, nothing significant, nothing strong, and that will not be impacting anyone in the New York City or Philadelphia metropolitan area. But if you're in northeastern Pennsylvania, you could see a flurry out of one of these snow bands that tries to develop around the Great Lakes. Really don't expect much of anything, but if you do experience a flurry, don't be surprised, don't be shocked. So, here we have our latest infrared satellite picture, and you can see one area of low pressure that is starting to develop over the Piedmont. This is going to shift off the east coast and will not impact our weather pattern whatsoever. But it is interesting to note that as this cold front drops south, that we have a wave of low pressure that tries to develop. This is going to be a very important observation because we're going to see a very, let's say, stormy weather patterns start to evolve as we head into this weekend and then into next week. Lots of interesting developments starting to show up in the model guidance, and my premium members will know this, that I warned that the models are going to be playing catch up to this pattern change, and we're going to be shifting rapidly to a stormier and stormier look in the model guidance as we move forward. The reason why is because we're starting to see the influence on from the stratosphere on our 500 millibar weather pattern. We're seeing that with the water vapor as storms start to spawn and really start to intensify over the northern Atlantic, starting to set up a negative NAO pattern, eventually a west-based one. And we're starting again, this trough here is a transient trough. It's nothing like what we saw earlier on in the month or in November. And that's important to point out because yes, we'll have disturbances driving through the Gulf of Alaska at times. It's not going to remain dry all winter long, but they don't remain in place. They quickly dive to the west and shift towards the east coast and lead to some mischief along the east coast. Notice though we have this sustained ridge. You see this right here? This is going to start to set up our pattern change, as I've been saying for quite some time. We are in the middle of the pattern change as we speak. So here we have our pattern change already starting to evolve here. More of a sustained trough around the Aleutians, more of a ridge along the west coast. In fact, here we're starting to get new data right now. Here we have the trough diving south, ridge remains sustained, and we're starting to carve out a trough over the eastern 2/3 of the nation. This is not a fast process, as I've been warning. But it is starting to evolve and start to show up nicely. Now on the European model guidance over the next couple of days, we can expect high pressure and control. As you can see, we have rather chilly conditions over the northern mid-Atlantic, but really we're pretty much near normal. The Arctic air is still remaining over Canada, but that is not going to remain that way for much longer. So through the week, high pressure will be in control, tranquil weather conditions can be expected, temperatures seasonable in the mid to upper 40s, for most of the northern Atlantic, a few 50s here and there in the Philadelphia metropolitan area, but nothing extreme either way. So we remain in this tranquil weather pattern until we get to the weekend. Now by Sunday we have one area low pressure that starts to develop and get itself act together over the Ohio River Valley. But notice we're starting to see a shift towards what we call cyclogenesis along the coast. The reason why is we start to develop this blocking over the northern Atlantic. As I warned, this low pressure system cannot lift up into the St. Lawrence River Valley because of this low. So it has to redevelop along the coast. How fast and what area it actually redevelops, whether it redevelops off the New Jersey coast, off the Massachusetts coast, will make a difference in the type of precipitation we see. Right now, for Sunday into Monday, I expect most locations to see rain. But again, we're going to keep an eye on this, especially if you're in the interior like northeastern Pennsylvania, northwestern New Jersey, Hudson River Valley, and of course Connecticut, especially away from the coast. So this is certainly a storm we're going to keep an eye on as it redevelops off the coast. And we could see a little bit more of a wintry mischief over the interior, and not so much along the coast this time. But that storm, as it intensifies, sets up another blocking pattern. Here's our upper level low that starts to develop. Here's another strong disturbance developing over the southern plains. So as you can see, moving forward, as we develop this weather pattern, we start to develop more storms over the northern Atlantic that leads to a block that forces a redevelopment along the coast. As I explained in the winter forecast, where and how fast these low pressure systems redevelop along the coast will determine the type of storm you're going to get in your location. This is why I said stormy, not snowy. A very stormy weather pattern this winter, not necessarily snowy for everyone. So, as you can see, our weather pattern is taking shape. Our winter weather pattern, as I've been expecting, is starting to form. And with each one of these storms blown up off the East Coast, we develop a stronger and stronger support for a sustained west-based negative NAO pattern, which leads to more mischief along the East Coast, and yes, colder temperatures overall. So that is your forecast discussion for today. Of course, I'm your meteorologist, Stephen DiMartino. You can follow the latest weather information at nynjpaweather.com and nynjpaweather on Twitter and Facebook. Have a wonderful day. Stay safe out there.